All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night, in the dusty recesses of their minds, wake in the day to find that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act their dream with open eyes to make it possible. This I did.
The last few weeks, I have felt very mediocre. I have felt off. Something in me has not felt adequate. And in retrospect, looking over the last few weeks at myself, I have been passive. I have been somewhat lackadaisical. I've been going against my word. I've been ignoring the effects of bad habits while indulging in bad habits themselves. I started watching porn again. I've been on my phone too much. I haven't been reading. I haven't been journaling. I haven't been studying myself or my own interests as much. I have been willingly giving into distractions in order to avoid doing things I feel I should be doing. And that's because there is something in me that I'm ignoring, and I know that. And I can't name exactly what it is, but I can feel it. It feels as if there's a dent in the armor. There is a piece of the puzzle that is missing, and I can't find it. But I know it's missing. And I think this feeling and these thoughts I have that emerge when I sense to go deeper into myself, I sense to introspect further through myself and into myself. These compulsive thoughts emerge almost in like a OCD type of form to sort of shift my attention or move me away from the piece of the puzzle that I can't find. It's almost as if my hand hovers over this piece of the puzzle per se in this analogy. And as I'm about to grab it, these other thoughts, these other distracting thoughts that are really at the end of the day just nonsense, make me look over my shoulder just for a second, and then when I look back to grab it, the puzzle piece is gone. And I have to go look for it all over again. This piece of the puzzle, if I continue with this analogy, per se, it isn't happiness. It's not like I'm trying to find happiness. That's not it. It is, as cliche as it sounds, it is a deeper sense of meaning or a deeper sense of self than that. It's as if it's a part of the self that is calling to be discovered by the self itself. And it can only be revealed to itself by itself so it can become whole with the self. When I was in Florida over the winter, I had this thought one day while I was on a run, and it was, maybe where you're going is someplace you're trying to get back to. And I can't help but wonder and understand the perspective that noticing the feeling, acknowledging that the feeling is there, even if it's just feeling it, and doing nothing about it, can cause you to be lackadaisical, can cause you to be out of touch with yourself, can cause you to be subpar and passive. Because to ignore such a deep and meaningful sense of self and to do nothing about it would then cause your sense of self, would then cause yourself to react in a way that causes misalignment, that causes passivity, that causes you to ignore what you want to do and or should do and choose distractions because it clearly just isn't important enough to you. And the other side of that would be it causes you to notice it. It makes you take notice. It makes you take notice that something is off, something doesn't feel right, that something is misaligned. It causes you to introspect in order to understand and or find this missing puzzle piece. I can't help but wonder if I'm feeling this way because life is changing around me and partially because of me. And what I mean by that is I'm doing things that I sort of never thought I'd be doing. And I can't help but wonder, and or to go further down this sense of wonder, if I'm doing the right thing. You know, I'm going to college for the first time in September. And it's something I never thought I'd do. It's something I never thought I'd need or I'd want to try or I really cared for. Because I didn't enjoy school when I was younger. I didn't care really for learning per se. And I didn't really know that I enjoyed learning about things I liked until after I graduated high school and took time to nurture and develop and evolve my own interests. And part of me can't help but wonder if this is, as I said, the right decision or if it's a distraction. Because one thing I've realized in the last few months over the summer that caused me to make this decision is I've outgrown my environment. One of the ways I saw the ability to test myself was to go to college. But I don't know if that's the test I need. And as I sit here and talk about this, I can't help but wonder if going to college is going to satisfy this feeling, this sense of self that is trying to find itself, that is trying to present itself to itself and become whole with itself. I've never really understood the idea of a 5-year plan. I've never really grasped it. It isn't to say I can't see the value in it, but me personally, I've just never been able to truly look that far down the road, and maybe that's a bad thing, maybe it's not. But if I've learned one thing in relation to that, it's that you don't know what's going to happen 5 years from now down the road. You don't know what's going to happen next week, per se. You can write things in your calendar, or you can, set something up, for sure. You can plan a vacation in the future that you want to go on, for sure. But for me, setting a 5-year plan almost takes away from the intensity and the lucidity of what you're doing and what you're going through and what you're feeling and what you're thinking and who you are now. All you really have is now. Sure, you have memories, and unfortunately, the only thing with a memory you can do is feel it. And I guess if you're lucky enough, you'd be able to think about it and see it in your head. And the future is either anticipation, preparation, or anxiety. And in order to anticipate, you have to prepare in some sense or fashion. Because if you weren't preparing, you wouldn't be able to anticipate. And nobody wants to feel anxiety. And in order to prepare, you have to realize what's happening now. If I had to give one reason as to why I have been feeling the way I feel, it's because something is telling me I need to go deeper. I need to go further. I need to go into myself more in order to become myself more. There's a quote attributed to Carl Jung and also to Joseph Campbell, and it's a very Jungian quote. Either one of them or both of them said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." In order to become who I truly am, in order to become who you truly are, in order for this sense of self to reveal itself to itself, you have to listen to it. You have to go deeper into yourself. You have to, in some way, get back to the place you're trying to go to. That's what this is signaling. And it's deeper than just a passive emotion like I have been feeling. It is a signal. And if there's one thing I'm sure you could agree on, it's that emotions and feelings are signals. Now, yes, some can be passive, but ones that linger, ones that you truly, really feel, are a signal. The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. I have found myself asking myself, in many different variations, in many different ways, who am I? What is it that I need? What is it that is missing? What is it that is signaling me to go deeper, to go further? What is it that is pulling me below the surface? What is my purpose? What am I willing to die for? To bring up an example of something I brought up a couple months ago when I was in Florida over the winter, when I was reading 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson, a part of it really stood out for me and really connected with me when Jordan was talking about the concept of ideas and what an idea is. All of those little puzzle pieces of what make up reality allow us to dream of what might be for us. And what's for us is what we dream. And a dream is an idea. Jordan Peterson wrote in his book 12 Rules for Life, in Chapter 7, Rule 7, pursue what is meaningful, not what is expedient. Now, an idea is not the same thing as a fact. A fact is something that is dead in and of itself. It has no consciousness, no will to power, no motivation, no action. There are billions of dead facts. The internet is a graveyard of dead facts. But an idea that grips a person is alive. It wants to express itself, to live in the world. It is for this reason that the depth psychologists, Freud and Jung paramount among them, insisted that the human psyche was a battleground for ideas. An idea has an aim, it wants something. An idea believes that what it is aiming for is better than what it has now. It reduces the world to those things that aid or impede its realization, and it reduces everything else to irrelevance. An idea defines figure against ground. An idea is a personality, not a fact. When it manifests itself with a person, it has a strong proclivity to make of that person its avatar, to impel this person to act it out. Sometimes that impulsion, possession is another word, can be so strong that the person will die rather than allowing the idea to perish. This, generally speaking, a bad decision, given that it is often the case that only the idea need die, and that the person with the idea can stop being its avatar, change his or her ways, and continue. But it is something you are willing to die for. It is an idea that you are willing to die for. You are no longer the avatar of this idea. You simply are the idea. That is you. You have found yourself. You have found your purpose. You have found your meaning. You are willing to die for something that is so true to you, that is so real to you, that it is you. Because you wouldn't die for something that isn't. You can't say you would. To quote Soren Kierkegaard, when he was 22 years old, he wrote, "The crucial thing is to find a truth which is truth for me, to find the idea for which I am willing to live and die." That's part of what this feeling needs from me. It is asking of me to find something that I am truly willing to live and die for. In the previous example, when I was speaking on Jordan and Jung and Freud and the concept of ideas and what an idea is, and identity, and when it engulfs a person and that person is willing to die, instead of sacrificing the idea, they are willing to sacrifice themselves because they have found who they are in this idea. And as I said then, and I will say now, if you're willing to die for an idea, then you have found who you are. That is you. That is you, and you cannot say it isn't, because otherwise you would not die for it. If the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are, who are you? Truly. Because you would not die for something that isn't you. And the only way to answer that question is to go on a campaign within yourself, which will cause your outside world to change. The world is yours. Dare to be great.